Leave Jake Zyrus alone.
So hard, and I wanna tell you everything.
Hi everybody, it's DNJA and we're back with another vlog. My name is Justin.
And my name is Dewey. And today we're gonna pick up from where we left off in last week's vlog. This video is for anyone that doesn't know who Jake Zyrus is, or you just simply want to catch up to speed with his transition. And I know that we've said this before, but we'll definitely say it again. Jake, we are so proud of you. We all know that this means so much to you, and we absolutely cannot wait to see and hear the progress that you made regarding your transition through the following months and years to come.
The majority of the Philippines is actually against Jake, unfortunately. And the majority of the Philippines have been cyberbullying him. And we figured that staying silent is not the way to go. Okay, so this week, Jake did his first interview over in the Philippines, and he revealed that he's undergoing hormone therapy, and he's also gotten his top surgery, so his breasts are all gone. He sang a few lines of Despacito, and it was apparent that his voice is beginning to change.
My sunrise on the darkest days got me feeling some kind of way. Make me wanna savor every moment, slowly.
And of course, there had to be transphobic comments after that. People said that Jake's gift was a waste, or that he no longer had that soprano voice that he had before. And many passages of the Bible were used to justify their hate comments, which is absolutely ridiculous. And this affects not only Jake, but everyone in the LGBTQ community.
Just going forward to all of Jake's followers who actually are not transphobic, but actually miss the soaring soprano voice that he once had. There's actually a lot more issues. I'm telling this to myself too. There's more issues than belting and ballads. You know, those videos and those songs will always be there for us to remember and cherish. But I also feel like it's more important to actually stand up for what's right versus hearing a person hit a high note, because there's more to life than high notes, let's be real. I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about how Jake has always been male, and this was not an overnight decision. Okay, so let's go ahead and backtrack in history. Back in 2010 through 2012, when Jake was still Charice, he had on his description on Twitter, "I am guapito." So what that basically means is, I am handsome. And it becomes obvious over the years and performances and interviews back as Jake became more famous, he became more and more depressed, and it was so obvious to see that. Like, even fans were like, oh, Charice at the time is no longer smiling. Oh, Charice is not even hitting the high notes the same as before. Oh, Charice seems so out of it. Let's go ahead and backtrack even more. Let's start from the beginning, from Star King. Jake was very happy, very content, because his career is beginning to blossom. At the tender age of 15, Jake really wasn't as vocal about his sexual identity, and he probably didn't have the courage to even admit it to himself.
Throughout the years of his fame as Charice, Jake has always used his talent as an outlet to share what he has been keeping inside.
I'm from the empire, New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. These streets will make you feel brand new. Your life will inspire you. New York, New York, New York.
So obviously, like, the money and the fame was exciting for him. So I'm sure he focused on his career and put his career and his fans for himself first. But just like all human beings, we all get used to things, and superficial things like attention and fortunes do not fill the empty void that is inside.
So Jake rose to fame in the years of 2007 to 2010. By 2011, fans began to see a difference in Jake's demeanor. He began to smile less in performances, interviews became a little bit more awkward, and performances were no longer explosive or dynamic or whatever you want to call it. So visibly, the passion was going away. In 2010, it was the peak of Jake's career in the US and internationally. And for the most part, he seemed to be genuinely happy.
About a year later in 2011, Jake began to show signs of depression through social media such as Twitter, performances, and even interviews. Watch this for example.
Charice!
Let's just hope the jet lag doesn't hit you tomorrow. Yeah, I hope. Wish, yeah. It is the second time that you've come here. Now, do you realise how many fans you have here, especially your Filipino fans? They are dying to see you. I'm kind of nervous about that.
And actually, 2 years later, after he had already came out, he still displayed behavior that clearly showed that he was still suffering inside. Watch this interview in 2014.
Silly before, because they, you know, like every time I did a photo shoot, they would show me like pictures of Selena Gomez, they would show me pictures of all these pop stars, and they'd be like, oh, you have to be like that, you know, you have to be like that. And I'm like, but I'm not like, I'm like totally different than that, and I couldn't.
And actually, during that same year, he had an interview with Oprah. He identified that his soul is male.
So when you were standing there singing, you knew?
Yes.
And they're singing, you knew?
Yes.
So you struggled with transgender, did you? Were you thinking about like transitioning to become a male?
Not exactly, you know, transitioning to like a male, but basically like my soul is like, you know, male.
So it's very clear that staying in the closet made Jake feel very discontented, as well as everybody who has ever been in the closet before. Stop acting like it's a big shock, like it's some kind of revelation, like, oh my god, Charice is, or Jake, or like, oh my god, Jake is nuts, Jake has a mental disorder. This is not anything new. This has been something Jake has been dealing with for years. Unfortunately, many transgendered individuals commit suicide, and within the transgender community, 40% of them actually commit suicide. And that is an astronomical number. And what's even worse is that multiple studies have found that transgendered individuals of color are actually more likely to commit suicide than white transgendered folks. And that's saying something. Cultural problems actually do play a factor into the thought process of a transgendered individual, so you want to be more sensitive with them. And you want to be more accepting, and if you're not accepting, then educate yourself.
What also increases the risk of a transgender individual committing suicide is discrimination, such as cyberbullying. Sexual orientation is not black and white. It's a huge gray area in the spectrum. There's not only gays and straights, there are bisexuals, transgenders, asexuals, pansexuals, the list can go on and on, exactly. There are 7 billion people in this world. And just like race and ethnicity, sexual orientation is just as diverse.
And going back to Bible verses, I just wanted to say, why are you guys calling out Jake for sinning? Like, why does his personal life bother you so much that you have to leave an essay's worth of hate comments? Sounds like the issue lies with you. I mean, you haters act like you're saints. You're not. Look me in the eye and say you've never masturbated. I'm sure you've watched porn. I'm sure you've also talked back to your parents. I know you've hurt somebody. You ate meat on a Good Friday, some of you. I'm sure a good chunk of you don't even pay attention in mass. You just go through the motions. Let's be real. A lot of you had sex before marriage. And I'm sure that some of you guys have even cheated on your spouses. And let's be real. A lot of these men that are hating on Jake, some of you watch gay porn. Next time you touch yourself again, or next time you do something sinful, remember this.
You're gonna go to hell.
Being yourself is not a sin. For those of you who have a religion and practice it, that's totally fine. We're not discriminating you whatsoever. But if you're really saint-like and religious, you wouldn't be hurting people's feelings, you wouldn't be bringing anyone down, because saints don't hate. And you wouldn't be wishing for people to die and rot. And you wouldn't physically or emotionally scar them. All of you should spread nothing but love and respect. And it seems like the LGBTQ community died through suicides and even mass murders because it's people like you who spread nothing but hate in our community and in our society as a whole.
And yes, we have received hate for defending Jake Zyrus, and we're not gonna stay silent. Here in the United States, same-sex marriage was not legalized because we stayed silent. It was legalized because we fought and rallied to the very end, all the way back from like 20, 30, 40 years ago. Our community was tiny back then, and then we grew, and now we're worldwide. So you cannot shut us down.
So with that being said, to anyone who's watching this video right now, please spread nothing but love and positivity. That's all that matters. We live in a very, very dark era.
So thank you so much for watching. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe to our internet family. I know this is a little bit of a heavier video, and we thank you so much for being a part of this with us, for commenting and giving us your feedback, and even supporting Jake Zyrus for those of you who didn't even know who he was. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us, it means a lot to Jake, and it means a lot to all of the community.
We'll be back this Thursday with another cover, so please stay tuned for that. Actually gonna be Justin's solo video, so really excited for all of you to listen.
And what I can say about it is that when I heard this song, I automatically thought of Jake Zyrus, and I could picture Jake singing this. So Jake, if you ever want to sing this song, that'd make us so happy. And it's not like a diva song, it's not that. It's a song like full of emotions, and I think that's exactly what you're trying to do at this point in time.
The lyrics definitely pertain to you.
Oh yeah, when I'm gonna sing that song, I'm just gonna envision being in your shoes.
So with that being said, we're gonna go now. Bye! Love wins!